Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Gargoyles episode reviews. Today we're looking at Long Way to Morning. Did Demona abandon her efforts to convert the clan to her side? Not a chance. This time she's upped the ante, putting Elisa's life in the balance. With that kind of leverage, Demona can move mountains, or in this case, Goliath. She didn't bargain on Hudson coming along, though. Will old age and cunning win out against youth and strength? And what about Demona? How's she handling the clan, quote, betraying her? Since we completed the 5 Awakening episodes, Greg and the other writers have been shining the spotlight on specific characters, both protagonists and antagonists. The thrill of the hunt, we had Lexington and the Pack. Temptation, Brooklyn and Demona. Deadly Force, Broadway and Dracon, and Owen. Enter Macbeth. The Edge, David Xanatos. Long Way to Morning is Hudson's episode. Spoilers are in the 2020 moments. Ask Greg is in the According to Greg. Season 1, Episode 11, Long Way Till Morning. Reasons for Existence. To show Hudson still has warrior skills. To show how murderous and serious Demona is. To intro the Archmage. Main antagonist, Demona, Archmage. Times, January, possibly 20-somethingth, we're not sure, 1995, and not sure of the actual date, but 984 AD. Locations, New York City, New York, USA, and Scotland. We have Long Way Till Morning, written by Bryn Chandler Reeves, so it's going to be a good episode. It was a dark and stormy night. 984, Scotland. Fire up the flashback. Prince Duncan is threatening young Catherine, like she's a little girl, with gargoyles if she doesn't behave. Why? That's like saying the police or the army will come and arrest you or drag you away if you don't go to sleep. Why does she believe him? She lives alongside the Gargs. Apparently the royals don't mingle with beasts. Dad of the year right there. Hudson doesn't approve of the idea. He has the guts to tell the prince about it. Duncan waves it off. Little does he know that his actions will reverberate through the next 10 years, culminating in Demona finally losing all patience with the humans' treatments of the gargoyles. I'm not saying it's all his fault. I am, however, saying he played a big role in furthering the bigotry and abuse. Hudson questions the prince's banishment of the Archmage, who used magic to attempt to usurp the throne. Was it a stiff enough punishment? Well, anyone who knows anything about wizards will tell you the answer. No. Also, which throne? The throne to Wyvern? Because it's not really a throne. It's just a little outrigger town defending the coast. And the main throne of Scotland? I want an episode about that. I really do. Nice entrance here. We have the Archmage appearing in a flash of light on the balcony of wherever they are in the castle. Lightning cuts them off. A wizard appears. He fires off magic missile at the darkness. The gargoyle. He yells, Fulminos venite, meaning come lightning. That's blue lightning instead of the classic Disney green. It's like an old school taser, and it hits Hudson right in the chest. It knocks him out of the way so the Archmage can use a blowgun to shoot the prince. The mage cites revenge as his motive. Oh, wonderful. Another vengeance-motivated villain. See, this is why Xanatos is such a breath of fresh air. Revenge isn't in his playbook. He prefers to act for profit and amusement. We'll see where this goes. How big of a villain is this mage going to be? It's either live with the humans or go to war with them. Catherine comes out and finds Hudson kneeling beside Duncan. Guess who gets blamed? Hudson. Dream on. Turns out it's a dream. Hudson seems in introspection. The years are weighing on him. While the trio is struggling with the issues of reaching maturity, he's struggling with old age. It's a continuation of the theme of competence we started in The Edge. But, I kind of feel sorry for any episode that has to come off after The Edge. It's got a lot to follow up with, and quite frankly, I don't think this episode does it, at least not for me. But that's pretty much because there's no Xanatos or Owen in this episode. Here's Hudson and Goliath looking over the skyline at the Erie Building. It's great how the gargoyles wake up to a fine view of the Erie Building every morning. Xanatos would be pleased. 2020 moment. The writers chose Hudson for the Garg Xanatos kidnapped in the price for a reason. Hudson is the one experienced with aging. He knows the pros and cons. He's a good counterpoint to Xanatos' 100% accurate arguments against growing old. At Elisa's apartment, which is massive and must cost a fortune, the detective is getting ready for work, putting her badge on. Who should crash through her window and lose her the damage deposit, though that may have already been blown after she was shot in the kitchen. But Demona. Really dramatic, too. How would she find Elisa? Track her? Hire a detective to find the detective? Use the phone book? Demona shoots a dart. Yes, a dart, just like the Archmage's. It hits Elisa in the chest, but the badge blocks it. Demona doesn't know. Exuberant, she informs Elisa that the dart is poisoned. Goliath needs to come to the opera house in the village if he wants the antidote. Can you say trap? The shield, haha. Goliath goes despite Elisa's protests. He takes Hudson rather than the trio. The boys guard Elisa. Why bother? Demona already thinks she's poisoned. Demona could have killed her back then, outright, but she didn't. Goliath almost never listens to Elisa. Did she ever notice that? Hudson says that Goliath is the leader and also the representative of all gargoyles. So he has no choice but to meet Demona. Okay, what kind of logic is this? The president or king or PM of a country isn't the representative of humanity. As the alpha male in the area, maybe he's the gargoyle, he is in the gargoyle culture, so maybe Hudson just met the gargoyles in that area. And there's Goliath getting ready to jump out the window. And in the background, you can see the eerie building. It looks almost like the castle is floating because of the clouds underneath. Goliath and Hudson head off. At the opera house, they find claw marks that belong to Demona. Yeesh, I don't think I'd want them hanging around my place. They tear stuff up. This is why we can't have nice things. And there's some pretty deep claw marks there. Roll initiative. Sure enough, she appears with lasers of firing. Death and crazy from above. She comes swooping down. Hey, Hudson, you shouldn't have brought a sword to a gunfight. I'm not sure why the Gargs don't upgrade to firearms. I know it probably boils down to Disney not wanting a band of gunslingers as heroes, because PC. But the villains all carry at least one weapon all the time. The gargoyles sticking to fists and a sword increases their credibility, too. You don't want them verging into street sharks, biker mice from Mars, or SWAT cats. I love those shows, but Gargoyles is infinitely better. There's a reason Gargoyles has held its audience even when we're in our 30s. It has substance. I don't know where Demona got the laser rifle. It speaks of her resources, though. If she's been around this long, she's got to have a few tricks in her bag. She shoots Goliath in the chest. Wait, what? Straight in the chest? That's a low setting, though, I guess, so it doesn't decimate his chest cavity. I'm not sure exactly what kind of weapon it is, but I'm going with the straight laser rifle, even though it looks different from Xanatos's. If so, then he should have a burn on his chest. We get a little smudge on the left pec. Here's a really kind of a weird camera angle where we see him get shot, but we're behind him. Now, we saw Xanatos shoot him in the back with the laser, so I don't know why we can't see him from the front. It just doesn't flow real well. Demona tries to take out Hudson, but his sword reflects the laser back at Demona and knocks the gun from her hand. That's some Jedi stuff there. Jedi tricks. Would this work? Wouldn't the laser just cut the sword? Is the blade that shiny or polished? These are not the gargoyles you're looking for. And there's the laser getting reflected off it. Now, a side note here. I have knives made by professional custom knife makers. And the blades are very high quality, yet they're not polished to such a sheen where you're going to see really clear reflections or be able to bounce a laser light back perfectly. So I don't know how this sword that was made back in 100 AD is going to do that. Also, you'll see later on he does some pretty rough things with that blade, putting it through stone and just things that should mess up steel pretty bad. So I really don't know what's going on with that weapon. Hudson helps Goliath, who's out of commission. Demona, And, okay, why is he out of commission on this one, but not when he got shot in the back with Thanatos' laser last episode? I'm just assuming that was a lot lighter setting on the laser. I guess you can do that with lasers. Well, you can here. Demona aims, only to miss as the boys jump through a skylight. They land in the storage room of the opera. A Viking ship dominates the area. That's a nice callback. A cat and mouse game ensues. Demona channels Albert Wesker, taunting them as she stalks them. It's the old, I can totally kill you right now, but I'm not. Again, this is why Xanatos, and Owen, is a unique antagonist. His goal is not to out-and-out kill the gargoyles, it's to use them. In Owen's case, it's, well, he'll just kill them straight off, the easy way. Demona gives an out. If Hudson swears fealty to her, she'll let him live. As if that's going to happen. Flashbang. Now's a great time for a flashback. Always good to have one in the middle of a crisis. Back in Scotland, young Magus is telling Duncan the spell poisoned the prince. Didn't the little dart poison the prince? I don't know. If the gargoyles can get the Grimorum Arcanorum and the Archmage, Magus can break the spell. Not exactly Cupid's arrow there, that dart. Magus is just so cute. Jeff Bennett does a great voice acting job. Hudson is about to go, but young Goliath and young Demona show up to join him. Their voices are lighter, younger, they're also less filled out and weathered in character design. They've been dating for a while then. Demona says Hudson should be stepping down soon and Goliath should take over. Goliath says that age equals wisdom and that's why Hudson leads. They both have good points. Goliath's face is priceless, though. According to Greg, Demona and Goliath's conversations happen while Hudson can overhear them. The words are meant to inspire doubt in Hudson regarding his abilities. He starts to think he's losing his edge due to old age. Break a leg. Demona starts blasting crates. They explode. Not sure why a laser makes them explode. Maybe it heats the water in the wood and, yeah, I got nothing. It's not like they're going to be storing explosives in the theater house. And that laser was set just to kind of knock Goliath before, so maybe she just upped it. I don't know. I feel sorry for the theater company. While she's at it, Hudson and Goliath squeeze out a window. Oh no, it's an escort mission. Goliath is pretty much totally out, and Hudson has to pick him up and drag him. She tracks them to the sewer grate, which Hudson left open. So much for him being a master tracker. He can't even cover his own tracks. Halftime. I'm going to be honest, I don't like this episode. Gives a smidgen of backstory for Hudson and shows he's still capable. Also introduces the Archmage. We already knew Hudson's capable. We've seen it through the eps. We don't care about his backstory when all it does is show how he lost an eye and stepped down from command. We don't need to know about the Archmage yet. Also, Hudson is the least interesting of the clan, in my opinion. Sorry, I mean, I love Ed Asner, but Hudson's just kind of dull. Maybe the next half will improve. There's more Demona anyway, so it's bound to be violent and deranged. Tune in Friday for the conclusion, or just tune in whenever. What did you think of the first half of the ep? Did you like young character designs? Comment here or on the blog. So remember to like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.